There are different places in our text and scriptures that are talking about what's going to happen at the end of days and so forth. But one of the sources of a lot of what's going to happen prior to the coming of Mashiach is brought to us by the Gaon from Vilna, the Gra. His name is Rabbi Eliyahu ben Shlomo Zalman. He lived about 300 years ago. As his nickname, HaGaon MiVilna, genius, unbelievable mind, commentaries on the entire Torah. So, like many of the great teachers, a lot of his teachings he didn't actually write down. One of his students who took a lot of his teachings and then he wrote his notes and on that wrote a book. So there's a book called Even Shlema. There's an argument if it's called Even Shlema or Even Shlomo. Because the Gaon from Vilna, his name is Eliyahu ben Shlomo. So some say called it Even Shlomo, the stone of Shlomo, or in English Solomon, or some say no, it's not even Shlomo, it's called the Even Shlema. Stone, Even is a stone, Shlema means whole and complete. But nevertheless, he has a book, this Even Shlema, in chapter 11. It says something very, very interesting. And he quotes from the Talmud in Tractate Rosh Hashanah, specifically in page 2a, and it says, Ha'olam nidon be'arba'a prakim. The world is being judged, translated also as condemned, in 4 specific times. So the 4 times, Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, and Atzeret. So the student of the Gaon from Vilna in the book Even Shlema, he explains that on that quote from the Talmud is hinted to us the process that's going to happen prior to the coming of Mashiach. And he says, when it says that the world is going to be judged or condemned, don't forget, for thousands of years, Hashem was holding his patience. Let everybody do whatever they want. Let empires rule, destroy, control, kings, armies, individuals. Hashem kind of stood from the side. Now it's Judgment Day, Yom Adin, where Hashem is going to say enough with everything. Now is the time to come forth with the judgment. This is Hashem's war. You have nothing to do here. You need to step aside. So going back to the interpretation of the 4 times that the world is going to be judged and condemned, and which teachings of the Gra is telling us these 4 times are hinting to us the process of the redemption. So it says on Pesach, Nigael me'ashiabud. On Pesach, we're going to be redeemed from the shiabud, from the slavery. Slavery of what? It can be slavery of the evil regime, slavery of the government, slavery of the world order. I don't know. It doesn't say what type of slavery. But we are under slavery. You might not be carrying bricks, but you are a slave. Whether you're looking, either way you're looking at it, you are a slave. Now you can look at it in a very simple way by saying, yeah, I'm a slave to the bank because I have to pay my mortgage. And I'm a slave to the electricity company because I have to pay my electricity bill. The biggest fraud in history, this whole electricity bill, pretending that they're creating electricity in power plants. The electricity doesn't come from the power plants. Just another way to suck money to bring pollution into the world. Yes, people are a slave to that. And if you don't pay your electricity, you're going to be without any lights or heating. Then you are a slave to the credit cards and to your lease and to the car and to the... You're a slave, sorry to tell you. You're not free to do whatever you want, but then you're slave to many different things. Oh, you want a job? Get a vaccine. You want to fly? Get a green card. You want to do this? Well, you're ruling my life now? So yeah, you are a slave. We're all slaves. And then, of course, you can look at it in many different ways. That I'm a slave to my own desires. I have to have a cigarette right now. I have to have a cup of coffee, or chas v'shalom, even forbidden things. Either way you're looking at it, you are a slave. Okay? End of story. Very, very few people can say, I'm ben chorin. I'm completely free. I don't owe anybody anything. I follow only the master of the universe. But you know what? Even if you do that, you're a slave to the master of the universe. So either way you're looking at it, you are a slave. So he says on Pesach, we're going to be freed from all slavery. And again, it doesn't come with too much information. But never, I don't know, maybe on Pesach the government will fall. Maybe in Pesach some other horrible, evil regime will collapse. I don't know. That's what he's saying. Then he says on Rosh Hashanah, Gmar Hadin be'oivei Hashem. Hashem is going to settle. It will be the completion of judgment for the enemies of God. In Tchiyat HaMetim, in the resurrection of the dead, many evil people will be resurrected. You know why? To hang them. So everybody will see them and they will have shame for eternity. Not necessarily physically hang them, but part of these evil individuals' punishment is to be exposed. Everybody will see them, like they did to Haman. So all the evil people in our generation are all incarnations of evil people from the past. Hashem brought them all back. And usually he brings them back where they belong. So Paro will become the president or the prime minister of Egypt. And Haman and Achashverosh will be the Ayatollah of Iran. Hashem, the incarnation, will come in a very connected place. But all these leaders, the last 4,000 years, which he calls them Oivei Hashem, the enemies of God, are all coming back here again. Why? Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to judge them. And it's going to be obvious. All these people that maybe you think good about them or bad about them, the truth is going to be pointed at them, and suddenly people are going to be shocked because of all of their heroes from the history, world leaders, kings, rabbis, whatever. The truth is going to be revealed how they are the complete opposite. You can't even imagine how many surprises you're going to have. People have heroes. People think it's just in our small country, people hold certain individuals on a pedestal. They don't even know how deranged they are, how evil they are. And if they would know 1% of their wrongdoing, they wouldn't even think of even looking to their direction. But all the truth is going to be revealed, and this is what he says, Gmar Hadin Bo'evei Hashem. Hashem is going to bring all the truth out. Everything is going to be exposed, and Hashem is going to finish and conclude the judgment with all of his enemies. That's going to happen on Rosh Hashanah. Now, he doesn't say which Rosh Hashanah. He's just giving us these 4 scenarios. The third is on Atzeret, and he says, Kibbutz Galuyot al Yedei Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, Atzeret is the last day of Sukkot, and he says there's going to be the gathering of all the nation of Israel from all corners of the world to Israel by Moshe Rabbeinu. And by the way, there are many different texts that is saying that the first one who's going to be resurrected is Moshe Rabbeinu. As Mashiach comes, Moshe Rabbeinu is on his side, Aaron HaKohen is on his left side. Mashiach is going to come here to the Galil, going to resurrect probably Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Rari HaKadosh and many of the great sages. It says that Moshe Rabbeinu will be the first one who's being resurrected. I mean, after all, he needs to teach the Kohanim what to do, how to do. He needs to instruct everybody. So he says here that the Kibbutz Galuyot, the gathering of all the Jews from all corners of the world, is going to be done by Moshe Rabbeinu on Atzeret. How is it going to be done in one day? I don't know, but maybe it's going to be the beginning. Or maybe in some miraculous way. They're all going to come here. I don't know where they're going to put here 100 million people, but nevertheless, Hashem has his ways. I'm not worried about the solution. And the last one that he says is on Sukkot, Bniyat Bet HaMikdash, the building of Bet HaMikdash. Whether we're going to build it or it's going to come from Shamayim, that's a whole lengthy argument, because many people say we know from the text that Bet HaMikdash is going to come down from Shamayim. But we also have to build it. That's one of the conditions of Maimonides. How is it going to really work? We're going to have to physically build a physical Bet HaMikdash, and the soul, the neshama of Bet HaMikdash is going to come from the heavens, built completely, and they're going to merge together. But the actual physical building is going to have to be done. And again, how if it's going to be done all in 1 week in Sukkot or start, it doesn't say. But what's important is to know that we have these 4 times that the world is being judged and condemned.